Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you're here. Today we're talking because Dr. Chanita Foster has done another live, you guys, to address some of the backlash that she is receiving and some of the bullying and the antics that she's receiving. So there's only going to be a couple points in this video that we're going to really dive into and all the things. I can't get enough of this photo of Carlos King. It reminds me of the girl, I don't know if those of you guys who are sports fans or remember in pop culture some years ago, some decades ago, I believe, the woman who wore like the visor, who was having the affair with the racist Los Angeles Clippers owner, Donald Sterling, and she had this like visor, even though I feel like Carlos King was trying to give Darth Vader, but it's giving this mistress that had this visor that like covered her whole face, and that's what it keeps sending me every time I see this photo, you guys. So nonetheless, that's why I keep posting it. So back to Dr. Chanita Foster, right? So a couple of things. First of all, Carlos King is not speaking to the cast. Why is he not speaking to the cast? Because Dr. Chanita Foster apparently was at an event and had apologized in advance before speaking for whatever foundation or charitable organization or whatever she was affiliated with, apologizing in advance for her behavior for an upcoming episode that she thought, like the rest of us thought, like Phonics Unhooked thought, that everyone thought was going to be airing last Saturday. And people called her out in the audience and was like, no. It's on hiatus, right? They must have got the exclusive from Carlos because we sure didn't until like an hour before the showtime. But nonetheless, even then, people still didn't get the memo because they still were tuning in and realized it was an episode from July. So again, the same thing that happened with the Love and Marriage DC cast. Remember, they had a 2-year hiatus practically, and they kept hitting Carlos King up, and Carlos King was like, I don't know you. I don't know her. I don't know him. You're on the block list. I don't know when the show's coming back or if the show's coming back. If it ends, it ends. At the end of the day's gonna end. Like, that is the energy Carlos King gives to his reality TV stars, you guys. And you wonder why there is so much messiness and drama on and off the show. Because when you have people at the top that encourage this level of foolishness and unprofessionalism, what do you expect, right? So, on another serious note, because I want to get these out the way, we've got to stop some of these personal attacks, you guys. And I'm not here to tell or police anybody. People are going to say and do whatever they want to say, right? They have their own approach on how they're going to say things, right? But is it necessary, you guys, to continue to call Dr. Chanita Foster a man and call her he-man and lurch and transgender and all these other things? And some butchback man or whatever she said. What? And to me, it's not funny, right? Because when you're calling people a different gender than clearly what they are, and you're calling somebody an animal, and clearly they're a human being, you're just being completely and utterly malicious at that point, right? It's no longer about the issue at hand, and that's why I had issue with some of the commentary that was taking place with Letitia's mom and a few others, because you weren't keeping it to what the issue was. If you want to give point by point what your issue was with Chanita in her verses with Letitia, that's one thing. But you sat on these platforms and you just attacked her looks and kept calling her a man and calling her the Incredible Hulk, calling her all of these things. Well, guess what, you guys? All of those comments got to her kids. And more importantly, got to the kids who are old enough to see on TikTok their mom going viral and the kids having to ask their mom if she is a man. And she's up here telling them, listen, I am a full woman. I gave birth to you. Like, make it make sense. Having these kids go around, these kids are receiving text messages. They're getting sent messiness about their mama. And I know some of you, they're going to be like, oh, well, nobody told her to sign up to reality TV. Well, this isn't her first rodeo. But the problem is, you guys are the same people that want to judge others, that want to come for other people about quote unquote taking it too far, but you never see anything wrong with your actions and how your actions take it too far. And this isn't your first time attacking people to the point that it gets to the kids. And we talked about this before, how all of this escalated. The true origin of when all of this escalated is when the attacks started coming unnecessarily for the Holt kids. To this day, you cannot say that any of these other kids in the cast have been dragged. I have not heard it. I have not seen it. Post the receipts in the comments if it's happened, because I personally have never seen any of these other cast members' kids get dragged the way that I have seen the Holt kids. Nobody has ever gone in on, the Scott's kids or anything. People lust after Kimmy's son, Jalen, and all these things. I have never seen the negative commentary, but anytime it came to the Holt kids, because people felt a way about the positive attention they were receiving and the opportunities that they were getting, and wanted to find something so disgusting to come after them about. And attack, their hairline, attack their looks and all these things. And then when it gets called out, I was just repeating something that I saw. No. That's how you truly felt, because you did a blatant comparison to your own grandkids. Because you made it about, again, how long somebody's hair is, how much edges somebody's has. Here's the thing. All of that superficial stuff, you guys, doesn't matter if what's inside is full of hurt and nastiness and negativity and hatred. None of that matters how long your hair is or how short your hair is or whether or not you have edges or not. Who cares? If you are a cold-hearted person, I don't care if your hair is down to your ankles. It's not going to replace your issues from within, you guys. And that's the piece some of you don't understand. It doesn't matter about these superficial things or what you do or do not have. If you are a terrible person, you're a terrible person. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, if you're ugly not ugly, facially challenged. And because I don't like to call people that, but if you're facially challenged, or if you have, good looks, if you've been blessed with good looks or good genes or whatever, right? You can still be a cold-hearted person, you guys. You could still be a mean and nasty person. That has no discrimination on what you look like, whether you are slender or you have a few extra pounds. None of that matters, you guys. But it's to the point that it's at Chanita's kids. And I know some of you are like, well, she shouldn't have been on reality TV. But some of your faves kids, even the people that you guys claim that people hate, their kids aren't getting this. They're not receiving this level of hate to where they're going to have to ask their mom if she's a man or a woman. Are you kidding me? In 2024 especially? No. You guys took it too far, right? And then, so another thing. So the one thing I didn't like what Chanita said, because like you guys know, I'm going to keep it a buck. If something is wrong, I'm going to point it out, right? So the one thing that I did find wrong was the colorism comment and how she referred to Letitia Scott. That was not okay. That was out of bounds. You could have, if you didn't know her name, just say that. But you didn't have to refer to her the way that you did. We already have big enough colorism issues as it is. Also, and on the other side of things, I don't like the erasure of light-skinned black women either, where if you're light-skinned or fair-skinned, people assume you're biracial. No. I'm going to need people to look into genealogy and look into genetics and family history, you guys, and go a deep dive in your ancestors, you guys, and really truly see your true makeup on both sides of your family. Because some of you don't know who some of your ancestors are and what countries some of you guys really originated from. But that's another conversation for another day, you guys, right? But I didn't like that comment. It wasn't necessary at all, Dr. Chanita Foster. That was a faux pas. That is something you need to apologize for, right? Because that wasn't okay, right? Also, Chanita said that, also now she's saying that she's not feeling this that basically she's big time. She's doing all these charitable events. People were coming for her saying that all she does is like sell stuff. And she's like, listen, if part of my marketing, if that's part of my job to do is sell stuff, what's wrong with that, right? If people are supporting it, people are buying it, what's the issue, right? Because people had an issue, I guess, with her saying to donate $5, to help out a child and everything else. And people had an issue and threw a conniption about it. But here's my issue. It's like people always want to, look at what everyone else is doing for charity, and they want to have this moral high ground, this moral compass, but they never reveal if they're doing anything charitable, right? But they always want to count somebody else's pockets, right? Do you notice that? And it's like, why can't we celebrate charitable acts being done regardless, right? But people are so caught up in the nonsense, right? So that was that, right? Then also, Dr. Chanita Foster wanted to make it a point to say that Mel did not influence anything as far as what was or wasn't going on the show with these people. Listen, if Chanita can't even get the names right of these people and can't even get right whether or not these people had kids, I'm pretty sure she's not seen the show like that, right? To even know who these people are. Even Dr. Heavily, who doesn't watch the show, she seems friendly enough, or is coach, allegedly, to know these people by name. And Chanita does not. Chanita looks like she has no clue who these people are, right? So her experience is flat out based off of what she's been observing on this cast trip, you guys. And so a couple of things before I get into, one of the main things I want to get into is she told Sonny, do not get into it with people, referring to Destiny, do not get into it with people who have already lost, right? You're the wife, you're married to Moses. Why are we going down in the gutter? Why are we going down in the dumps to get into the mud with Destiny, right? And she said that Sonny wanted to say and do all these things. And she said, for what? Now, here's the piece, right? Because I know that there is no nuance on this Sonny and Destiny thing, right? There's people who are either Team Destiny, whether they like her or not, because it's all about, oh, she stole her man, even though technically he wasn't Destiny's man either. But nonetheless, he was someone else's man when Destiny was with him. But nonetheless, right? And then there's people who are Team Sonny, whether they like Destiny or not, because ultimately, it is what it is, right? Here's the thing. Because I've always said I'm Team No One. Because ultimately, there's no positive in any way you try to analyze this, which is why I don't know why there's teams. But anyways, from, like I said before, from the Destiny perspective, you knew Moses was a F-boy for 15 years, right? And you were cool with him flying you out, or you utilizing your buddy pass or whatever when you worked at the airlines to be holed up at the hotel on weekends in St. Louis, and he would deal with you whenever he was done with whatever committed girlfriend and or wife, depending on who you talk to. When he was done dealing with her, you were fine with that arrangement. But then you did a complete 180 on this whole Sonny thing, and you have escalated and elevated this thing with Moses, this friends with benefits, this entanglement, into this committed relationship. And it's weird. Now, Sonny has owned that, obviously, whatever the dynamics of their friendship or how close they were or weren't, probably wasn't inappropriate on how this whole Moses thing came about. She's owned that piece, right? Why Sonny is mad? Because I feel like some people have amnesia. I feel like some people are pretending to block out and black out certain things of the story. Sonny had reached out to Destiny multiple times, right? Even if it's wrong or right, whatever, right? And said, listen, I'm with Moses. Moses and I are dating, right? Things are getting serious. And I believe Moses told Destiny what it was too, right? And I believe both of them were helping out Destiny financially, right? So Destiny ignored Sonny, but still was, having conversations, text messages and the like with Moses. After knowing, February, March, April, that they were together? Still texting back and forth with Moses up until August, I think it was, according to whatever the latest timeline they're going with. So you knew all of this, but you still refused to interact with Sonny, right? You didn't have the smoke for Moses, who played you, but you're holding all this contempt for Sonny, right? So you're ignoring her calls, you're ignoring her text messages, right? Which is your right. But the problem was, Destiny, you decided to get on 50 million podcasts and be like, my friend stole my man, my friend did blah, 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 blah. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This same friend reached out to you in advance, even if you would have responded and said, listen, if you're going to deal with him, fine, we're not friends anymore, we're not cool anymore, or that's grimy, that's shicey, whatever. But you didn't acknowledge it, which is fine. But now you're getting on the platform for sympathy to tell a different narrative and make it seem like you were blindsided when Sonny warned you on multiple occasions, according to her receipts, that she warned you in advance when they were just talking. It warned you in advance when they were getting serious, and it warned you as well when they were going to get married. And you ignored her. So what more was Sonny supposed to do in that situation? If she's reaching out to you multiple times to give you a heads up, hey, me and Moses are a thing, and you're doing the mute challenge, what else was she supposed to do? But for you to then flip it and make it seem like Sonny and Moses completely blindsided you and wanted nothing to do with you and all these things, and this came out of nowhere, only to find out you still had been texting Moses this entire time, only to find out Sonny had reached out to you this entire time and you were paying her dust, even though you knew that her and Moses were right there. Obviously, Sonny's going to feel a certain way because she feels a certain type of way that you're putting her on blast, but you're not telling the entire truth. You're not telling the piece that Sonny reached out to you multiple times to give you the heads up. And even went as far as to text message you and contact you in multiple ways since you weren't picking up the phone. But you wanted to leave that part out, and you want to get gully on this upcoming episode, if it airs this Saturday, on when the last time you had correspondence with Moses, as if that's a flex. Because basically you're confirming you still knew about Sonny and Moses being romantic and being intimate and everything else and the like, and you still enjoyed being entertained by getting attention from him. But still didn't want to, respond to Sonny's calls and text messages. And I'm not saying Sonny is, right in the situation due to the dynamics of their friendship. But I'm saying she at least was trying to be an adult in the situation and say, listen, I know this is messy, I know this isn't right, but listen, I want to tell you, woman to woman, I'm with Moses now. Like, for real. And Sonny even admitted at that podcast with Carlos King on that ambush that even when she started out with Moses, that he wasn't completely available, that he was out here in these streets, right? So nonetheless, Moses was not a good guy to either of you, right? But ultimately now, him and Sonny are husband and wife. So it looks ridiculous, Destiny, that you have all this smoke, in particular for Sonny, and less so about Moses, but you have smoke for the both of them, right? And Mel, right? But here goes LeBaric, right? And you do not have the same energy when it comes to LeBaric. But the moment Sonny said, hey, if you keep doing this, if you keep going on these podcasts, throwing dirt on my name, I'm going to tell what really happened between you and LeBaric. All of a sudden, that's too far. And it wasn't too far, all the things that you said about Sonny on all of these podcast interviews. None of that was too far. All of that was okay because you were hurt, you were a woman scorned. But if Mel does that, Mel needs to move on. Mel needs to get over it. Even though she was the one who was married with 4 kids with Martel. Even though she had an unhinged mistress of 10 years that would not shut the trap. Sonny's trying to keep it, copacetic. And you can't handle it. But then when people see it for what it is, now you want to cry wolf. And you still won't talk about LeBaric. Well, now there's a gag order again. But is the 30 days up? Have you paid the $20,000? Is what I want to know, right? Or are those 45 days in jail are going to happen, right? So that was one piece, right? So another component about this live, right, is Chanita called out the fakery. She called out these people, shout out to Cameo, talking out the side of their neck, you guys. Pretending that everything was on the up and up, that they were going to, quote unquote, tolerate Melody Cherie Rogers when the cameras were on and all of these things. But every 2 seconds, whether the cameras were on or off, they were looking to instigate an argument. They were looking to instigate drama of some sort. And Chanita simply was calling it a spade a spade. You don't need to watch the show for that. You don't need to do a binge watch of Love and Marriage Huntsville for that. If you are seeing on a girls trip, girls being flat out messy, and particularly picking on one person, which was the purpose of Destiny being on this trip in the first place, was because Letitia wanted to get Mel back for Mel inviting Kiki on the Houston trip, right? So Letitia was like, this is going to be my big get back. This is going to be my big one. I'm going to bring back Destiny as revenge because I know revenge. I know revenge is sweet. And what's going to be sweeter than Destiny and Mel who fell out, and I can just let them go to toe-to-toe, and I'm going to get my little sweet revenge. Only for Sunny to put the kibosh on that and show up and talk about her fertility journey. But this is what happens, you guys. You can't win when you play dirty. And I'm sorry, Tisha, if you did not think that there was not going to be any type of... when you saw that Mel didn't respond, you should have known right then and there that maybe you should have rescinded the invite to Destiny. That she was going to come up with something and it was not going to be good for any of y'all. So Chanita was calling out the BS. Now, we can go back and forth on whether or not she did too much. It's not like Chanita is, not reality TV trained, is not used to how these reality TV shows work. But here's the thing. Ultimately, on all of these cast trips, regardless of the reality show, they're supposed to be fun, you guys. They're supposed to be, some good time, some camaraderie. There's nothing but drama. But the fact that it sounded like, from Chanita's perspective, that these people are literally trying to audition for screen time to see who could be the messiest to Mel, to see who could be the most passive-aggressive to Mel, it wasn't going to fly with somebody like Chanita, who is used to being around the dignitaries, the best of the best, the prestigious leaders, the kings and the queens, the emperors and empresses. Like, she is used to being around royalty. She doesn't have time for this foolishness. Of people being fake and people being two-faced. She doesn't have time for that. So of course she was going to call it out because it's dumb. Either you like somebody or don't, but don't sit there and say, oh, I can sit next to you even though I don't like you, I don't fool with you, and I can be cordial to you and all these things. But then the moment it's time to turn up, the moment you think you need a moment or you need screen time, you start again trying to cause an argument, trying to cause a division. And Chanita just said, listen, keep it a buck. Stop being an op. If you're not friends, just say that. But stop pretending and then using other people to try to instigate these fights that don't go your way. Just like even the situation with the room, how offended Kimmy and Tisha were about the room, except for they don't seem to be offended in the Dominican Republic with each other. Don't seem to be offended there. Don't seem to be bothered if a room needed to be shared together in the Dominican Republic. Don't seem upset there. But for storyline purposes, for Carlos King purposes, it's a problem. No. You guys looked silly. And even Mel going as far as to offer up her room and offer up her friends' rooms, and you guys said no afterwards, even looks more ridiculous. It looked like you were just trying to have a moment. You were just trying to have screen time. It wasn't that serious. And then Stormy being completely wiped out just makes this even funnier. Because she wasn't even there. She was at the hotel, but they spliced her in, at least for the group scenes, you guys. But Chanita is tired. She's like, listen, these people have come so hard at Mel and they never have the energy in her face. Say what you want about Mel, but Mel does not hide from these people. And Mel has never hid from these people. Who was defending her when Martel was screaming at her and, being completely and utterly out of order to her face on camera, and everyone else was watching, like onlookers, you guys. Watching like nosy neighbors trying to get the tea and providing no assistance whatsoever. And backing Martell each and every single time because they were mad that Mel didn't want to stay there and scam and try to make the comeback group a success. Or that Mel didn't want to stay and make them all rich on her hard work of the 40-acre deal. So they felt that dealing with Martell, because he's more charismatic and more funny on camera as an actor, that it was better to be on his side. Even though he cheated, even though he had a baby on his wife, even though he continued to disrespect his wife, even though he got arrested for DV harassment in the 3rd degree, even though he got convicted of the DV harassment in the 3rd degree, even though they claim to be upset that Martell is alleging that they hooked up with the same woman together. By them, I mean him and at least Marceau, possibly Maurice as well, and also threw Tisha out there catching a stray, alleging that Tisha hooked up with one of Martell's friends. And now he's irrelevant? Oh, okay. But the same irrelevant that Marceau's taking pictures with at the vow renewal of the Fletchers? Okay. All right. Whatever you say, Tisha. Because you guys aren't keeping the same energy, right? But, you know, for me, it's like, it's the immaturity for me, right? And nobody wants to stand on business, and the only time you guys seem to do so is when you have to be encouraged or forced to by production. Or when the reunion comes around after you've seen yourself being dragged all season by the fans, now you want to turn up, now you want to try to have a moment for screen time on the reunion. No. Where was the energy when the season aired? All this passive aggressiveness isn't going to cut it. So Chanita has every right to call that out. Now, has the cast also been passive-aggressive to each other? Absolutely. But it gets to a point where 8 seasons in. If you're not going to talk it out with each other as adults, what is the point? But don't get on your high horse or project about something else minuscule instead of just saying what you really want to say about an issue. And that's why so many people have so many issues, in particular with Tisha, because she throws rocks and hides her hand. She's messy. But she pretends that she's the sweet angel. And even Marceau has called her out on it and said that you get down in the dumps when you feel like it, when you want to have a moment. But then you get mad if it's called out. And said that there's a better way to approach conflict and drama. But nonetheless, you know, people are in their feelings about it, right? But that was really the bulk of, you know, what she said. You know, like I said that she was a doctor, philanthropist, was just in Parliament and all these things. So she wanted to basically clear her name, clear her position, her status. She said that she is known as an ambassador out in these streets, you guys, out in these countries. And she has a high level of leadership. But she said, for those who were saying, oh, why did you get on reality TV again? You know how this works. She wasn't expecting things to go the way that they did. She wasn't expecting things to be so icy and uncomfortable on this trip to the point that she had to say something. And that speaks to how can this show move forward, and it explains all the segregation scenes. But something has to give. Either the show has to end or you have to have a new cast at this point. Because nobody seems to understand the assignment except for one person. And then when the person clocks in for the assignment, you guys get mad and call them messy. But when it was everyone else in the cast being the same level of messy, taunting, claiming that they were going to reveal who the mistress of Martell was, gloating about them having matching BMWs only for you to get your kid, guess what? Also a BMW, you guys. Can you make it make sense? So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.